to SalesRobot Customer of the Week, a new initiative where we interview regular business people just like you who've had a lot of success with cold outreach on email and LinkedIn, of course, using SalesRobot. We go deep into their tactics, their targeting, their messaging to figure out what tactics you can use in your cold outreach starting tomorrow. Today, we have Anton Titov from Archway.Finance. Welcome to the show, Anton.
Hi, Sam.
Awesome. Great to have you on. So let's get into it. What does your business do and how does it make money?
Okay, and so I'm a CEO of Archway.Finance. It is a fintech company, and we're building now banking for digital freelancers and digital businesses from emerging markets. So it means that we're helping people who are working from Pakistan, from India, and similar countries to get their money from their clients from US, Europe, and UK. At the core, we are providing invoicing solution. We are aggregating those money from your clients, and we're sending it to the country where you are. And right now, we're actively penetrating the Indian and Pakistani market.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man. So let's get into your outreach. So how do you typically build the list? How do you find the data of these people to reach out to?
We do really a lot of different approaches. First of all, we are on the LinkedIn Sales Navigator, scraping data from there. Then I'm using the tool which is called Grow Me Organically, which helps me basically to gather the emails. Then we do different email checkers to verify the deliverability on the emails. We're using Apollo, we're using Clay, and it is always a different set of data points to get the list that we want. And at the end, it's much more about like finding the relevant leads and writing for them the relevant communication that's making a core difference in terms of any reply rates and any communication efforts.
Awesome. Awesome. So let's get into the messaging then. How do you think through the messaging? So when you're reaching out to somebody who is running this business in India, Pakistan, how do you think through the messaging?
I was actually speaking with my head of sales and business devs just to aggregate all this knowledge. And what we have as a core in our team is more that we know what are the core problems that we are targeting. So we have in our heads the best pitching approaches that we're usually utilizing for our clients, and we know where fits what. And then when we have this idea of how we're gonna pitch, how we're gonna open, what would gonna be like the icebreaker in the communication, we're finding the most fitting target audience. Because again, as I was saying it previously, the relevancy is in general much more important than personalization. You can write any personalization, but if it isn't non-relevant, it doesn't make any sense. So
Right.
rather less personalization and much more relevancy into everything that you're doing. So, and in terms of messaging, also right now, everyone already, let's say, experienced people know that there is a lot of outreach in with AI through emails, through LinkedIn. Everyone already knows how to write polished messages. I'm personally pissed off when I'm trying to find someone like on Upwork. There is like those huge messages which you see that they're written by AI. And in general, I don't have even like joy of communicating with people if I see that this messaging was written in an automated way, because I know that efforts that were invested there is like just not sufficient. And if person wasn't don't like to show me that he is genuinely interested to work with me and in making efforts into understanding what I'm really asking for, then it's just immediately like no go, sum up. I'm going for someone else who would rather give me a short message, but will provide me the relevancy and like resonance of understanding of what I'm asking for, what I need exactly, etc., etc. So we're trying to do like the same thing in our outreach, which is, and I actually, it was pretty funny. I've had a new sales dev from Pakistan, and he brought into the team absolutely like new approach. That first of all of our messaging is like sixth grade English language. It's like no polish, no complicated words, nothing like that. It's just sixth grade English, super simple words, few sentences maximum, literally like to the core. And we even write in like our messages sometimes like not using like capital letters. So it would look like that it's really personal one, rather made like on a hurry on the go from the mobile, but it is personal. So make it human, make it personal, this is the core. This is the core.
Awesome. So with that, let's get into the campaign that got you featured on the show. So just for context for our listeners, Anton, this campaign was actually ranked 14th out of about 3,000 users on our platform. So again, congrats on that. So let's get into it. I'll just quickly share my screen and
Yeah,
so
go on.
first of all, show people the results, and then we will look at how they thought through it. Yeah, so this is the sales robot interface. This is the campaign that his team ran. So this is actually on Paul's account. They've reached out to 400 people. They've received 148 replies, which is 65% response rate out of all the people who are accepting. So this is phenomenal, right? So talk to me about the targeting. I guess you were reaching out to people in
Yeah.
Pakistan. Yeah,
So
go ahead.
we are, as we are helping digital agencies, among which can be like marketing agencies, outreach agencies, copywriting agencies, software development agencies. Blockchain guys, basically one of the target audiences that has a bit closer to our product, because one of the capabilities of our system is that we're paying out in stable coins and
Mhm,
also like in Indian rupee, for example. But blockchain is just guys who are like crypto adaptive, and we've decided, okay, let's try this campaign. And what we know about like Web3 space and all of those agencies, those are the guys who have between 5 up to 20 employees. So it
mhm,
means that decision makers, they are always on the search for the
mhm,
new business, especially outside like from the Europe, etc. That's what makes the difference, that acceptance rate is so high. Because but and on the other side, when I'm doing investors outreach from my campaigns, I'm also able to achieve around like 40-45% acceptance rate.
mhm,
And I think this is where your profile just also should excel, because like people are facing you by the photo that you have here, by the description that you have here. So
mhm.
definitely not to underestimate that.
Yeah.
And again, this is was just the relevant targeting.
Mhm.
And I'm not thinking that actually my profile right now is at the point where it's the best one, especially this photo. I've got sometimes feedback that it is like too much serious, so it still needs some polishing, and rather you smiling there than just being like
Yeah.
serious geek as I'm here. So
No, I think it's good. I think I like your profile. I think this is the most impactful thing maybe for an investor when you're reaching out, that hey, our payment volume is like going up like a exponential curve. So which is the like impressive part. And obviously I like the about section, and you've got featured posts and your regular posting. So all of that look very promising profile when you reach out to an investor or even to a potential customer, right? So both those
yes,
purposes are.
right now we're going to invest much more into content creation on my page. This is definitely
Mhm,
going to be like one of the next Q1 priorities. Yes,
mhm,
we're going to put a lot of our own content, especially for the companies who are receiving money like in India, etc. I
yeah,
am using right now LinkedIn mostly for automated outreach for the like
mm,
on my profile outreach runs for the investors for already like 2 years. I'm doing that like constantly, and this
mhm,
is where like SalesRobot is super helpful, that I'm not taking care so much about those campaigns, excepting of just answering to the investors who is interested to speak with me. And what I'm
yeah,
doing regularly is just updating the copy that I'm using, because along with the progress with the company, I'm just updating the messages.
mhm.
But those campaigns can run almost indefinite period of time. And I have already 6,000 connections on my profile. So it's pretty like well established, but still there is a lot of improvements could be done.
Awesome. So let's get back to this campaign.
Yeah.
We've covered the targeting, and we've covered that this is obviously as an amazing response rate. So let's look at the actual messaging and
Yeah.
see what works. Okay, so connection request blank, right? You're not saying anything in the connection.
Yes, because we just see through many tests that blank connections works better. But again, this is where you need to have your profile solid.
Mm,
And again, the higher the role from which you are sending. So it means like if you will be say sending outreach just general sales development role, it will always like immediately saying, hey, this guy is just wanting to sell me something. But as soon
yep.
as you're sending something like from CXO role, chief of whatever, like sales development, support,
Mhm.
design, marketing, it is much, much better.
Awesome. The second message, exactly what you were talking about. The small letters are here, and it's a
Yes,
short message.
exactly. And this opening question is just we're trying to create some kind of report in a way that, hey, we're targeting you. You're in Pakistan. Seems to be that you're doing this business. This is basically
Yep.
like we are retargeting even messages that you are the right person to speak to,
Mhm.
and asking an open question. In
Mhm.
general, our main purpose through first messages is just to open conversation. It
Mhm.
is not about selling something. It is not about like pursuing anything. It's just like, hey, we need to confirm that we have the right audience and start
Mhm.
communication with you.
Yep, makes total sense. And our AI-based scorer of chances of response is giving a high number, right? Because you're asking a question, the it's readable. So again, like you said, grade six, personalization is there. You're using the first name,
That's
the word
that's
count
only
is.
thing. Yeah. In terms of personalization, we never use more than first name. Just
Yep,
more than enough.
makes sense. Makes sense. It's all about making sure that. So for you, the killer line is actually this, right? Because you're
Yes.
targeting a pain point, and then this is a great question because you're building a relationship first without even pitching anything.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So let's go to the next one.
This is where we're already trying to say after the reply, hey, it is relevant for me, non-relevant for me. Again, as those messages are sent automatically before person will reply, we'll just need to uncover the topic while we're writing. And this is
Mm,
where this like second stage of messaging comes in. Hey, do you have problems with being paid like delayed delayed time of delivery money, high fees, low speed, etc., troubles with payments itself? We can sort
mm,
it out. We've built this. We're charging only 2%. We are much better. We are faster. What do you think about that? And
mm,
we're asking if they want to have more info. And
mm,
again, this is not requiring from them any lengthy and difficult thinking. They
mm,
just need to say like, hey, yes, it's relevant. No, it's not relevant. And that's
mm.
done. Because again, like all of those numbers in terms of how much you've been like accepted, answered, etc., the smaller and easier to answer is, the higher those conversion rates would be. But again, you just need to make it step by step, and small
Yeah.
step is enough. Because if you want something big, it would be problematic to achieve.
Mm, exactly. And I again love the small I, not capital I, small W, not capital W. So this is the tactic we use as well, and it's so perfect, right? Because it looks like I wrote it on my mobile when I was in a rush to catch a bus or something. So it just
Yes,
makes
exactly. When I've seen it first time, I've actually was like laughing genuinely, just because it is so genius. Because if I would receive this kind of message, the first idea would be, this person who is writing to me is like either so lazy or retarded not to even like capital letters. But at the same
yeah,
time, you understand that this person definitely wrote it like by hands, because whoever would decide in automated tool not to
yeah,
put a capital letter. It's just going against like all the logics, and it's
yeah.
breaking through. I like that.
Yeah, I mean, I've even heard people making deliberate like spelling mistakes to make it like,
Yeah.
real. Oh, yeah. So like info, for example, instead of information, like miss the E in helpful, something like that. It even increases further the responses. Awesome.
I
So
hope that not everyone will start to do it this way. I still like to read good grammar stuff.
yeah, perfect. Step four, endorse skills. So this is like more like sending them a notification, like,
Yeah.
hey, endorse your skills.
Hey, I'm here. It's just more like, hey, I'm here.
Yeah. And then finally, there's the breakup email, breakup
Yes,
message.
exactly. Because again, it's just important to finish that in some way, either positive or negative, and it's fine. On the other side, in my investment outreach, my investment outreach is literally much more different to that. My campaigns, I think around like 30-40% acceptance rate,
Mhm.
and reply rate also like 25-30%. Yeah, exactly. You can look
Very
at
good.
among those. So for example, if you will click this European one, yeah. So let's take into account that those guys, those are like rich, wealthy, successful people who are just bombarded by thousands of startups.
Mm,
And I do it the way that I'm also sending blank connections,
mm,
and I know that I need to actually, again, for that campaigns, I will try to remake it in a super short versions. But if you
Mm-hmm.
will see that your AI is saying that I have 3% reply rate, right? I still have pretty good numbers just because it is going
Yeah,
against all the rules.
yeah,
And I just know that investors, they need to see that from the first sentence, they need to understand who the
yeah,
fuck you. I'm
yeah,
CEO of this company. I'm building this solution. I have this traction.
mm,
And again, I know with investors, they never reply in their first messages because they are bombarded in their LinkedIn. And
yeah,
most, I get a lot of compliments actually at the end saying like, hey, thank you for your persistency. Because
yeah,
my story is pretty long. I'm like, I'm going to after this person, I'm saying, I'm building this. We have
yeah,
already so much traction and we are like unique comparing to to the competitors this and this way because
yeah,
this is what investors want to know in this elevator pitch and I'm giving them this elevator pitch. And then my second message, I'm basically going with much more info saying,
mm,
hey, I also have those results, here are the documents if you would be interested. And they're
mm,
going to look my pitch deck, and sometimes it happens that they are booking directly in through my calendar link
mm,
or requesting like more info. But moreover, it happens that after this message, I just get, hey, I booked a call with you.
mm,
And so with
mm,
this approach, I'm able like to gain 2, 3 meetings with investors almost each week on
yeah,
automated LinkedIn. And the third message is, or third follow up is in general saying, hey, I'm like, just wanted to generally follow up on that.
mm-hmm,
Tell me like if you have time or not. And it's fine. So it's like more longer, more official. I'm not playing around like with investors that I'm really running my messages from the bus. I
mm,
think it is kind of like disrespectful, and also those guys like they are pretty. It's a bit different. So
yep,
that's why I'm using this approach. But in general, I'm saying that I'm open to test even those like campaigns where you have small letters, very brief messaging, just to see how it will goes and be
yeah.
able to compare that.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, you've actually got a pretty good response rate to this. It's almost 9%, which is massive, right? Um,
Yes, and then like 6 and plus 9.
yeah, yeah. So it's actually much higher than
Yeah.
what the AI was predicting, which is great, right? Which makes sense because these people, they have that behavior, right? Like if you give them all of the information in one go, they will either digest it or not digest it. Like these are intelligent people, so they will need full context, right? Whether they
Yes.
decide to,
Basically it's like a ladder that I'm giving them like first step, first sentence, it is resonating what I'm building. Yes, they want to know how much is your traction. There is a
yeah.
traction. There is like, then okay, your traction, why you are different from someone else? This is how I'm different from someone else. Do you want to know more? Let me know. And like
Mm,
from first messages there, yes, I want to know more. Or then there is a second part of the story which is saying, okay, really now want to know more, I'm already on the calendar link, but I'm not
yeah.
pushing on the pitch deck on the first message, nothing like that. It really comes with the second one. And
Yeah.
again, my goal, honestly, with investors or anyone who I'm trying to reach through cold outreach is like to get any answer I can. It
Mm,
means that rather I would say like, hey, rather not spam me, but I getting that like few times per month maximum, honestly, from hundreds of their answers,
mm.
or there would be a positive reply because
Yep.
I need any reply, and this is why I'm pushing towards for.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people don't get this mindset. Like they're always like, hey, I may be spamming people or something, but that's the thing, right? Like if you have ambitious goals, you have to take the chance and, push a little harder to get something, right? It could be, yeah, this is, and a lot of times what I've noticed is like they actually thank you for your persistence, right? They
Yes,
kind of appreciate it. Like, hey, you've not given up after, getting ignored 2 times. So I actually like you more, right?
yeah, it's true, it's
Crazy.
true. And again, like for investments, I also telling that to many fellow founders, saying that, hey guys, if you don't live like in Bay Area of San Francisco, if you don't live like in Berlin, UK, London, and Singapore, you hardly would be able to find investors in your network. So
Yep.
cold outreach is the only thing how you can get those guys on board. And if you wouldn't be heard, you wouldn't be able to build what you want to build.
Yep.
And this is where it comes, and this is where it's useful.
Perfect. So now let's look at final question. Let's look at a few replies from this campaign and let's see what works, right? So some people will obviously say not relevant, this is like a
I
different
think this
reply.
relevant for us in a way that we've got a super high rate of replies, but we were
Mm.
also targeting people and people who have some connection routes to India and Pakistan, but also having companies in UK and Europe. And
Okay.
our idea was that we will get there like a specific narrow niche of people
Yeah.
who are having business presented in both regions, and we will connect them financially. But
Right.
this hypothesis particularly wasn't the one that was right.
Mm.
So
Mm.
let's say it was like very efficient way that we have
Mm.
tested this hypothesis, but it appeared to be wrong. This is
Mm.
all fine.
Yeah. That's also information, right? The goal with the campaign isn't always to get clients or replies, it's to test something, right?
Yes.
And you were able to test something and find out, okay, this is not the case. So yeah, interesting. Great. Great. Awesome. So this has been very, very, informative for me. So those are all the questions I had, Anton. This has been fascinating. Um, yeah. So with this, I would love to thank you again for getting on the podcast. And yeah, I wish you all the success with your business.
Thank you. It was a pleasure to speak with you. Have a nice
Awesome.
day.
Take care.
Bye bye.
Bye.